listening to Offlimits. Liberal, irreverent, and really, really gay.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Offlimits show. Thanks for joining me tonight on the show. It has been a while since I've done an Offlimits show. That's what I say every time I do an Offlimits show because it's so rare these days that I do one. But if it's your first time listening to the show, you can go to offlimitsshow.com and find out more about me and the show. You can also tweet me at Offlimits Show and also on Facebook, Offlimits Show or Offlimits Show or Offlimits Radio or something like that. Anyway, there's a page and then also my Facebook page. So feel free to follow me there and everywhere else as well. Also, be sure to check out my other show that I'm part of, which is the Gay XYZ Show, which I do with my friends Jason and Christian every Tuesday, like clockwork. Unlike this show, it is it is always on the same time every week. So feel free to check me out there if you're a fan of my show here. So thanks for listening. So tonight I'm talking about basically talking about catching up on some things because it's been a while since I've done a show, like I said. So I certainly want to catch up on a few hot topics, but the main topic tonight is going to be some of my favorite things. And I usually do one of these shows every year or so, and I just kind of talk about what some of my favorite things are. There's a lot of them, of course, because I have a lot of things that I like. But really, my taste is I'm pretty fastidious about what I like. I mean, I'm pretty demanding in my taste, so I'm not someone who likes just anything. But I do know what I like, so certainly if you know me, you know that I love nice things and what I consider nice things. So I have a lot of those types of things on here as well. But of course also a lot of things that you yourself might like as well and want to actually obtain or use or to partake in because, there's some things that maybe you're not aware of that are out there that maybe you would like as well. And by the way, if you have any interest in talking to me on the show tonight, you can call in 214-377-0481, and I'd be happy to discuss with you whatever I'm discussing at the moment and talk about whatever's on your mind as well. So it's kind of an open call type show, so feel free to call in and talk if you're interested. So anyway, so some of my favorite things. One of my favorite things is pomegranate juice. Now, I've always loved pomegranates and I've always loved pomegranate juice. But recently I've been far more, interested in it far more than I usually am. And I think that's because, hold on a second, call in at 214-377-0481. I get to tell everybody. I think that's because lately most of the time all I drink at home is water. I drink La Croix, which is another one of my favorite things. Now, I discovered La Croix like years ago, and it's a sparkling water. It's basically just a sparkling water flavored with lime or with berries or lemon or whatever flavor it is you want to get. And I discovered it years ago, like I said, and I've been using it ever since. And every time I find something that I love and adore, everyone else follows suit. I'm not saying I'm like, a taste leader or anything. I'm just saying it's like I always am ahead of the curve and things like this. I discover things, I guess, because I'm, I easily try new things. I'm not afraid to try new things. And so I often discover things before everyone else does. And so anyway, if you're interested in, drinking something that's really flavorful, refreshing, and good for you, it's not bad for you. It's just water, and it's just flavored with a very minimum amount of natural flavorings, like I said, lime or lemon or whatever. And there's no calories or anything. Like the one I have here is, what does it say? La Croix, sodium-free, 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 sodium, 0 carbohydrates, 0 sugar, and 0 protein. So it's just water, people. I mean, it says carbonated water, natural flavor. That's it. So that's one of the reasons it's become so popular is because La Croix has been, it's something that can kind of fulfill your taste for soda, which a lot of people are kind of addicted to soda. And yet still not have all the negatives that soda brings with it, which is like sugar and carbs and caffeine usually and things like that. So it's certainly something you can partake in that's not going to hurt you, especially if you're on a diet or trying to lose weight like I am. and we're trying to work out and eat clean or healthy, it's a perfect thing for you. So that's La Croix. But anyway, back to pomegranate juice. Pomegranate juice, anyway, apparently has all these other great benefits that most people don't even realize, and because it has these natural enzymes in it and everything else. And first of all, if you're going to eat pomegranate, an actual pomegranate is not that easy to eat, because basically all the juices in these little seeds, these pods that are in the pomegranate when you cut it open, and it's still very good. It's just really hard to eat. So most people juice their pomegranate and drink it that way and partake in it that way. Of course, you can actually eat it if you want to the other way. But anyway, it does a lot of great things. One of the things studies say that it fights breast cancer, lung cancer, it slows prostate cancer, it keeps your PSA levels stable if you're a male. It protects the brain of a baby and infant, helps with osteoarthritis, protects the arteries from clogging up, helps prevent Alzheimer's disease, lowers your cholesterol, lowers blood pressure, and also helps to protect your mouth, your teeth. So, I mean, these are a lot of great things. And beyond all that, of course, it's a fucking flavorful thing. It's an amazing thing to drink. It tastes great. It's refreshing, and I love it. And I'm addicted to it. So when I don't drink. I mean, when I get it, I get an actual all-natural, nothing but pomegranate juice. It's just, nothing's added to it. No sugar is added to it, nothing like that. And so I just drink the pomegranate juice. But when I get one, I go through one in a day, and I'm done for. I mean, seriously, I don't even. It doesn't even last longer than that. So one of my favorite things definitely is pomegranate juice. If you've never had pomegranate juice and you're someone who likes juices and natural things like that, definitely check it out, because it's totally, totally delicious. Okay. So anyway, that's one of the things I love. Now, also, I like Altoids. Okay. Now, some people like, Tic Tacs, and some people like Lifesavers or whatever to freshen their breath. I am an Altoids man. I've always loved Altoids. They're amazing. And I like the cinnamon ones, and I like the peppermint ones. It doesn't really matter to me. They're all good. They're refreshing, and they're curiously strong mints is what it says in the box. And I love the way that they come in a little tin, kind of old-fashioned, and they're also all natural, I think. And they're awesome for refreshing your breath. So I take one. I have a box in my car at all times in case I'm going to a meeting with a client or meeting a friend or whatever. I always have them in my car, so I can always have fresh breath. No one likes bad breath, people. So if you want to make sure you have minty fresh breath, try Altoids. Okay, and then also, what else do I like? Oh, okay, so for Christmas, I got an Apple Watch. Now, the Apple Watch is pretty cool because, now, first of all, I got this. I don't need an Apple Watch. I had a watch that I've been wearing literally since 2006. I bought a Movado in 2006. Movado Fiero is the model. And it's an awesome watch. That watch was like $3,500, $1,300, something like that. So it's a very nice watch, and I always get lots of compliments on it. And I love my Movado. It's an awesome watch. However, I'm also a technophile, and I love technology. So when the Apple Watch came out, I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I'll wait. And so I waited a year to get one or to ask for one for Christmas or anything, because I really didn't feel like I needed it. And I don't. No one really needs an Apple Watch. It's more of a luxury, really. But I had a Fitbit Surge. And when I was working out all the time last year, I wasn't working out all the time, but I was working out more than I am right now, or should be working out more than I am now. When I was working out all the time, I had a Fitbit, and it was awesome because, it would track all my steps, and it helped me stay fit and make sure I had enough calories every day to eat and didn't go over my calories that I had burned, etc. So I love my Fitbit as well. That was awesome. However, I wanted to have a watch that did both what the Fitbit did, and as well as also things my phone did. So that's why I asked for the Apple Watch. Got it. It's awesome. I love it. And you don't really think about it until you use it, how much easier things are. Like, for example, and it sounds stupid because how hard is it for you to reach down and get your phone to do these things? But like if you're, for example, a lot of times I've been in the movie theater and I've been watching a movie and I have my Apple Watch on silent because my phone's on silent. It will mimic whatever your phone is doing. Oh, there goes my watch right now, actually. Right now, it told me I just reached my move goal for today. I don't know how I did that sitting down, but I did. So it says, you've reached your move goal. Having an active day has definitely paid off, Donovan. And then it shows me all of my movement for the day. It shows me how much I have left for exercise, how much I have left for moving, and how much I have left for standing. And it makes sure you stand up once an hour, because they say sitting too long without moving around is bad for you. It can hurt your heart and things like that. So it does all those things for me, as well as everything my Fitbit did for me as well. The only thing it doesn't do is track my sleep, which there are apps for that as well you can get. Anyway, I have my flight information on here when I was in Atlanta a couple weeks ago. It was easy to look at it. Also, I can use it to open doors at W hotels at my room door. I can use that as my room key. I did that there as well. It shows the weather. It does a lot of stuff. Oh, also really cool is, I can, when I get my Tesla, because I actually am getting a new car. I have a BMW 5 Series I've had for a while, and I bought it new, and I've had it it'll be 8 years old this year. And I'm getting to the point where I want another car. Now, my BMW only has 40,000 miles on it because I work from home so much, and the only time I ever really drive my car is to go to meetings and things like that with clients at the office or whatever, or at their home or whatever, or to go shop for them, etc. So I'm looking to get a Tesla, but the Tesla is coming out with a new version of their car next year, which is a $35,000 version of their car. Like the car they have now is like 75, 85, 95,000. Now that's the one I want, but the 35,000 car looks just as nice. And if I can get just as much on that car as I can this one, that's great. But I might go ahead and get the nicer car. Who knows? Anyway, the point is I want a Tesla. And so I'm trying to decide if I want to wait till next year or not. But when I do get my Tesla, you can actually control the Tesla from your watch. You can start your car with it. You can start your Tesla with your Apple Watch. You can actually summon your car, which means you can actually be like, say you're in your driveway, outside your garage, in your driveway or something, and you can push summon car, and the car will start. It will open your garage. It will come out of the garage, back out of the garage, close the door, and then it will drive up to you, all by its fucking self. Okay, I fucking love that. So, like I said, I'm a technophile. Anything that's like that's really cool. I love it. So anyway, that is something else I'm definitely going to get is a Tesla this year or next year for sure when I trade my car in. It's fucking awesome. Okay, what else do I like? Blah, blah, blah. I said liquid water, BMW. I like BMWs, yes. Madonna, of course. You all know I love Madonna. I'll talk about her later. Oh, there's a new guy. His name is Troye Sivan. Or Troye Sivan. I don't know how you pronounce his name. I can't remember the name of the song he sings. But you totally know it if you heard him. If I'm going to look him up real quick. I can't remember the name of the song. But he's from South Africa. And he sings that song. Oh, my God. What's the name of that song he sings? Is it Fools or Wild? It's Wild, I think. Is this it? Let's see. Yeah, that's it. That's the song, I think. Anyway, he sings several other songs, too. He's a really good artist. I like him a lot. He's somebody I had discovered recently. I also love, music-wise, Jess Glynn, whom I knew who she was. I'd heard her music before, but I didn't know who she was. You know what I mean? Like, you hear someone and you don't know who they are. Her name is Jess Glynn, Glynne. And the name of her album is I Cry When I Laugh. And my friend Christian had talked to me about, or turned me on to the entire breadth of her album. I didn't know about her album. I just knew about a couple of her songs, like Hold My Hand. And he told me about a song called Don't Be So Hard on Yourself, which we played on the show at GayXYZ a couple weeks ago, I think. So definitely check her out as well. Also, I love Sia. Sia's fucking awesome. I love her. She's a fucking true artist. I love her. You know what I like, though, is something lately I've been kind of rediscovering is from the 90s it's a group called Everything But the Girl. I'm sure you remember their song called Missing, from the 90s. How does it go? Is it on here? I don't think it's on here even. Let me see if it's on here. Oh, here it is. Remember that song? So that song, Missing, love that song, of course. Everybody loved that song in 1995 when it came out, or 94. It was fucking awesome. It was everywhere. Anyway, their entire albums are amazing, and I'd forgotten how good that group was, and I kind of missed them. But if you like kind of a slow groove, kind of melancholy, record or album, listen to Walking Wounded, which actually is the name of my autobiography, by the way, by Everything But the Girl. And it's a compilation of some of their best songs and remixes, so definitely check that out. Who else do I like? Musically, Halsey, Badlands, her album's good. Tove Lo, I was turned on to her. She sings that song, Talking Body. That song. Good album too. The whole album's really, really good. So check that out. Anyway, I could go on and on about music I love, but some of the stuff I love. So you all know I love Madonna. Okay, so also I have something called a ScanSnap scanner. I've had it for about 5 years, and it's awesome. And I had so much paper. Okay, I keep everything, like records. I had records back literally from 1998 and 1995, actually 1990 or something like that. All the way back to then, like when I was in college at SMU and just everything. I had boxes and boxes of files, right? And I'm really someone who's pretty organized, and I wanted to stay that way. And I hated all this fucking paper and all these file cabinets full of paper in my office and everything. And so I decided to streamline it. And so I got this scanner, and it's an automated scanner, and you can put all this paper in there, like 20 pages at once at a time or whatever, or maybe more than that. And you can put different sizes, like receipts and paper, legal size, normal size, letter size, whatever. And it will scan it all in there, and it scans it into a computer, and it files away into however you want to file it, and into whatever folder or whatever. And not only that, it does OCR on it, so it reads all the text on the page, and then it files it away. So if you search for any word on your computer, at least on a Mac anyway, it works the same way with the PC, I'm sure. Like if you have a document in there and you're looking for something that says, I don't know, remodel or something on a house you did. You type in remodel, it'll find every document with the word remodel in it anywhere. Whether it was, so it reads it itself and does the OCR and puts it in there on its own. So it's awesome. It follows everything. So you can always find everything when you want, just a touch of a quick search on your computer. So that's one of the things as well. And it does both sides of the paper. It does color. It does black and white. It does upside down, right side up, backwards, whatever. It doesn't matter. It always turns to the right side up. It's an awesome thing. So if you don't have a Fujitsu ScanSnap, mine is a ScanSnap S1500M is what it's called. So definitely check that out. It's awesome as well. If you like to be organized, I certainly love my thing there. Clothes. Let's talk clothes. Now, my friend Christian, who's a fashion guy, hold on. I'm sorry, I'm drinking. Out of the can, which I don't usually do. He was ragging on me the other day because I said that I like J-brand clothes. J-brand clothes, and also Vince clothes and Theory and things like that. Those are some of the brands I like. Now, let me explain to you why I like the brands I like. Now, for me, I kind of dress kind of semi-sophisticated, like sort of casual at the same time. That's sort of the way I dress. I don't dress up like really high-end or anything. I would, I guess, if I had the money to dress in couture, which I don't, which most people don't. But if I dress kind of, I don't know how to explain it. Just sort of middle. Like, so I can kind of almost go anywhere. I can go to like a dinner party, or I can go to a business meeting, or I can be casual and go to the movies or lunch or whatever in the same day. That's how I kind of dress, and sort of sophisticated, but sort of casual at the same time. I guess casual sophistication is me. I don't know. Anyway, so and the things I buy, like J-brand or Vince or Theory, are all kind of in that realm. And so when I look at a brand like that, I know what I'm getting. Now, first of all, J-brand pants. Let me tell you about the jeans, okay? And actually J-brand's good too, but the best ones are DL 1961. Look up DL 1961 jeans. Buy yourself a pair, or at least go to the store and try some on. I think they have them at Nordstrom. I'm not sure. But I get mine online, but go there and get some fucking DL 1961 jeans. Whether you're a man or a woman, it will change your fucking life, okay? They fit everyone amazing, everyone. And they have a tiny, tiny bit of like lycra in them. I think like 5% or 1% or something, and the rest is all denim. And that makes all the difference in the world because it fits your body and it molds to your body, but doesn't not so much that it's like tight. They're still loose fitting, and they fit very comfortably, and just fucking awesome. So I can't give you enough like raves about that because they're fucking amazing. But anyway, Vince, J-brand, and DL 1961 and Theory are my favorites. That's just me. I also love dried strawberries. I don't know if you like fruits. Yeah, I like things that are natural, like natural fruits and vegetables and things like that. Of course, I also eat horrible shit like McDonald's occasionally. But anyway, I love dried strawberries, and they are so hard to find. If you've never had a dried strawberry and you like fruit, you will love dried strawberries. Now, I'm not talking about dried cranberries that are flavored like strawberries, which will oftentimes is what you'll get. The actual thing, I mean, like some people like have crack, they're addicted to like cocaine or crack or whatever. Dried strawberries are that for me, okay? Like if I get a little small box of dried strawberries, they're gone in like 10 minutes. I mean, I love these things. I also love something really bad for you and totally not natural. Those peanut patties. Those peanut patties, those old-fashioned peanut patties are red and round, and they have the peanuts in them, and it's like basically just corn syrup or whatever. I love those and have loved those forever, ever since I was a kid. And I mean, I adore them. And for some reason, they just do not sell them anymore in Dallas. I can't find them anywhere in Dallas, nowhere. And so the only time I can get them is if I go to Waco with my husband, which is where he's from, to visit his family, and I can go down there, I can get some or whatever, or order them online. So if anybody wants to send me some, feel free, because you'll be my best friend forever. Also, I was talking earlier about La Croix water. I also love San Pellegrino. That's my other favorite. Now, cities. Let me talk about some cities I love. Let's talk about Dallas first. Dallas is not a city that I love. Dallas is okay, but Dallas is very pretentious and just kind of full of itself and always wanting to be more than it really is, just like most people here. So it's really, I mean, I kind of a little bit bitter about it. I was born and raised here, and so I certainly know this place inside and out. And I know the people, and I know the types of people who live here. So I certainly know this place, and that's probably one reason I don't like it, because most people end up leaving where they were born, but I didn't. I stayed here like an idiot. But my favorite cities in America are New York City, San Francisco, Chicago, San Diego. Those are my favorite cities. And did I say San Francisco? I think I did. Yeah, in the United States are my favorite cities, and I love them. And Austin's okay, but it's not my favorite city. And the reason I think that is because, first of all, obviously I gravitate towards bigger cities, and also where bigger cities are, you have freer thinkers, more liberal-minded thinking, people who aren't so fucking bigoted and racist and homophobic, etc. And people are just a little more accepting generally in those places. Of course, that exists everywhere. But that's one reason I love those cities. And also, there's also a different energy about them. New York City and San Francisco, for example, both have their own kind of energy. And yet, both of them, it's very similar in the same way. New York is very go, 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 go. I'm going to make it. I'm going to get big. I'm going to be important. This is where I'm going to make my fortune. That's what it's all about. It's go, 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 go. And San Francisco is more laid back and like cool and hippie-ish or whatever, generally. Of course, there's a lot of bitches there too. But anyway, San Francisco and San Diego is awesome. It's a beautiful place. If you could live there and afford to live there, I would definitely recommend it. I'm almost done here. Where did I go? I'm sorry. What do you mean, William? I'm still here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Anyway, I don't know what happened, but anyway, I'm still here. I didn't go anywhere. Says he can't hear me. Let's see why. Let's make sure I can still be heard here.
You're listening to Offlimits.
Let's talk. Anyway, I can still hear it. Well, I can still hear myself, so it's still going. I'm not sure why you couldn't hear me anymore, William. I'm still on. Anyway, so as I was saying, let's talk about something else I really, really love. And this is hokey, I know, but it is kindness. And I think it is certainly something that people these days are definitely missing in their hearts and their souls. People are no longer, let me tell them to call. Let's see. People are no longer really connected to other people. People just kind of look at people, I think it's because of the internet age and everything else, and don't really look at people as human beings, more as objects and in their way or something they can use. And I think kindness is something missing in most people. I think it's why when I find it, I always try to hang on to it. One of the things I always said I wanted in a partner or a husband or whatever was, it's working now, he says. Okay, good. I'm glad, William. One of the things I always wanted in a partner was to have someone who had a kind heart. That's what I always said, and I did find that in my husband for the most part. And I find that in my friends, and I look for that in my people I associate with. People with kind hearts and people who are not out to hurt other people. I think people who are looking to hurt others are sad people and just sort of depressing and pathetic. And so, because there's no reason to do that other than your own insecurity or your own, your own sense of bereavement over your own life or something. So I certainly love kindness. That's one of my favorite things in people. Kindness and a big heart is very important to me and friends, etc. Also on my list, I have honesty. One of my traits is I'm brutally honest with people. I'm very direct, and it's always been sort of a double-edged sword for me. Although it's something I've always looked for in other people, I guess because I admire it in myself. And people who are also that way and kind of direct and blunt like I am understand that. But a lot of people will take it the wrong way. And if you're being direct with someone because you don't want to bullshit them or be fake or pretentious and you just want to get to the point, somehow that's often seen as rude. Or for example, if I told someone, you're wasting your fucking life because you're not doing what you want to do, just do what the fuck you want to do and stop wasting your life doing what everyone else wants you to do. Someone may say, oh, that's rude. Well, I'm not being rude. I'm being honest and trying to help you see that you're wasting your life. You should do what you want to do with your life because you only have one to live, right? So I don't know. I really respond well to people who are also very honest and direct with me as well. I mean, whether it's negative or positive. If someone's telling me, oh, you look crap today, or I hate what you're wearing, or you're an idiot, or whatever they want to say to me, even if I don't agree with it, even if I don't appreciate it necessarily, I still appreciate the fact that they were honest. And I just find that to be a really rare trait in people, and I really look for that. So honesty is awesome. Something else I love are dogs. I love dogs, and I miss my dog. If you go back and listen to my show called, well, I don't know what I called the show, but it was Goodbye My Friend, I think, from August of last year, when my dog Monty died. It was devastating for me, and I really recently, in the past maybe 2 weeks, stopped crying over the loss of my dog. That's how much I loved him. He was like a family member, and they are a family member. They become part of your unit, whatever that is or consists of for you, whether it's just you and your dog, or you and your husband and your wife or whatever, and your dog or your kids, whatever. They're part of your family unit, and when a part of that unit is ripped away from you, you certainly miss it, and the dynamic changes. So I certainly miss him so much. And so I've been now, or just basically recently over the past week, getting ready to possibly get another dog. And I've been having the hardest time because Monty was a Shetland sheepdog, or also known as a Sheltie, which is sort of like a miniature collie, basically. They kind of look like that. He was blue moral, though. But anyway, I don't want to get another Sheltie because I don't want to feel like I'm replacing him with another. I could never replace him, and I just feel like another Sheltie would be like trying to make them live up to him, and it'd be difficult. So I'm trying to get an Australian Shepherd this time, which I think are amazing dogs. They're very intelligent and beautiful and fun and playful and energetic and everything. And so that is what I was trying to find. And I've been determined to get one through a rescue or a shelter, and not buy one through a breeder. I got Monty through a breeder 15 years ago because I couldn't find a Sheltie or at a shelter or anything that they would give me one. So I've been trying to find one the same way with an Australian Shepherd now, and I keep having the hardest fucking time. I had two of these. I want a puppy. I don't want one that's old, like, because obviously I want to spend as much time with them as I can, 10, 15 years. 15 years usually is how long they live. And I've been having the hardest time because the fucking shelters, the rescue organizations, are like, oh, well, the last one, there were three puppies, and they all came in together, and I inquired a day after day after day for like almost 5 days or something. And finally they got back to me and they said, oh, well, we transferred them to our Northwest region because there's too many Australian Shepherds in our area here. I'm like, well, did you have any other puppies? Or like, no. I was like, well, I wanted to adopt them. Anyway, so I've had a really hard time. And the only things I can find are people who are trying to sell them. And they cost between depending on how old they are, $300 to up to like $1,800, and what the brand is or how well bred they are or whatever. And I really don't want to buy from a breeder. And I don't want to buy from someone on Craigslist or anything either. So it's been really, really difficult. So I'm trying to find a dog, basically another one. So if anybody knows of an Australian Shepherd that's available, puppy, let me know, because I really want one. But I love dogs because dogs are they have unconditional love for you. They're incredibly sweet, and if you have a good one, they're your best friend for life. So I definitely want another dog. We'll see if that happens or not. So I talked about that. I think that's everything on my list for favorite things anyway. I think that's pretty good for now. Anyway, that's good. Now I want to talk about what's been going on in the news, etc. Because a lot's been going on. I think, first of all, in Texas here, we have a bunch of morons running things. And it's not because of me, because I never vote for the morons. I always vote for the people who aren't morons, because they never win, unfortunately. But I certainly want to try to, change things here. And it's hard to do that when you live in a state that is so red. But things are slowly changing. Anyway, one of the things I wanted to talk about was the fact that there's a judge here who, in Dallas, actually, Dallas County, where I live in Dallas, Texas, who says he will only be conducting traditional marriages because of his faith in God now. And, there was another judge in Louisiana or somewhere else that tried to do this. And of course, he was, reprimanded by the government and told that you can't do that because it's against the constitutional amendment or law or whatever. And so he eventually had to, step down or whatever. And so this guy's doing it now as well. And what bothers me is that these things have been settled. We've already settled the gay marriage question in this country. It's settled. The government went all the way to the Supreme Court. We know now that it is deemed a civil right. And therefore, for a judge to say and it's constitutional right, therefore, for a judge to say he will not be doing gay marriages is against the Constitution, which he has sworn himself to uphold. So I always find it just fascinating how these religious nutbags, zealots, will decide on their own that they're not going to do something because it's against their religious beliefs. And, there's so many of us out there that are not religious. I'm not religious. And if we were to do that, if I were a judge, for example, and a Christian came in there and said, I want you to marry us in the name of God or whatever, I would say, well, I'm not going to marry you because it's against my beliefs. I don't believe in Jesus Christ and all that bullshit and the Christian faith and all that nonsense. So you're going to have to go somewhere else. That would be wrong because it's my fucking job and there's a constitutional right to get married. Just because I don't agree with them doesn't mean I shouldn't have to marry them. And so it's no different for this dumb fuck who refuses to marry gays because of his own fucking personal, opinion. And what is so hard to understand about separation of church and state? It is like no one fucking remembers that. How can you not understand that there is a separation of church and state? That means that it doesn't fucking matter what you personally believe religiously. You have to uphold the rights of everyone's religious beliefs, whether they have them or not. And you have to uphold the Constitution, and you have to have them separate from each other when you're doing your duties. It's very, very easy to understand. Okay, then also there was a article or a video, rather, about older gays in the gay community. Now, this was something that was interesting to me. I'd read about this a while back because I'm 40 now, which is hard for me to believe that I'm 40, but I am. And I've always felt a lot younger than my age. I didn't really start to feel like an adult probably till I was around 35. So I always felt like I was still a kid. But anyway, I am an adult, and I guess I technically am beginning to get towards the older gay side of things, since it's 20 years between me and a twink, basically. So I'm certainly one of those. But I know that, as I've said before on the show, I think that I've always been more interested in gay men who were older. And even when I was a kid, a teenager, even a young teenager, and when I was 15, I was dating 22-year-old men. And I was dating guys, 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever, in that age range. And when I was in my 20s, I was dating mostly guys in their 30s and, and so forth. So I've always been at least 5 to 10 years older than me is what I've usually dated. And I certainly know the benefits of dating someone who's older than you, because there is a certain sense of, for me, there was always a sense of security, and also a sense of not necessarily, because I could go into a whole thing about that, but I mean, that's how I felt anyway. But more of a sense of mentorship and sort of an understanding that they were there to kind of guide me or whatever when I was young or whatever. And as I've gotten older, and my husband is 7 years older than I am, I don't really feel that way with him because he's just not his personality type. But I feel that there's less of a sense of competition. There's less of a sense of a sense of bitchiness. I don't know. And I think when you get older, you begin to be more mellow, and you begin to be, and the reason for that is, in my opinion, my experience, is that you begin to feel more and you're, comfortable in your own skin. You begin to understand who you are, love who you are, accept yourself as you are, etc., rather than always trying to please everyone else or trying to be what other people expect you to be, like most people do in their 20s or so forth, or their teens. So I find it to be comforting in that sense, a sense of security, and also a sense of, there's a lot that an older gay person can teach a younger gay guy, especially like it comes to sex, for example. I know when I was in my teen years, although I was very sexually active, I was also very inhibited. I was very inhibited and about sex, my body, and everything else. But then, because I was young and inexperienced, yet it's like now I'm not like that at all. I'm very uninhibited sexually and those sorts of things. And so I think that also comes with age. If you actually grow and you experience more types of people, and you don't just stay in one relationship all that time, and you actually go dating and everything, I think you begin to get to that point. So with an older guy, you can always remember also that you're going to probably get someone who's got a little more experience in the sack and going to be able to teach you a few things, whether they do that verbally or just by showing you by their own actions or whatever, just demonstrating on you. So there's a lot of benefits, I think, to dating an older guy. And also oftentimes they're more secure financially as well. Now, I definitely am not a proponent of someone who is going to be a sugar daddy. I think that's a bad relationship model for a serious long-term relationship. If something that someone wants, if you want to be a sugar daddy and you want to take care of a younger gay guy because that's what you want, and you understand that's the understanding from the beginning, he understands that as well, and you're getting what you're getting, he's getting what he's getting, fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just that I think if you're looking for a long-term relationship and you're just with someone for money, then that's not really a real relationship. Because a relationship should not be based upon, obviously, something as superficial as money. Money's important, though, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that you should be with someone who's poor and a pauper just because you're in love with them. I've dated guys who were really wealthy in the past, and I've dated guys who were poor, and I've dated guys in the middle of the road. And in my experience, the guys who were really wealthy were controlling, and the guys who were poor were were insecure. So for me, it's the guys who are middle of the road, middle class kind of guys are the ones that are best to for me personally to actually have dated. But they also say that most of the time you don't even date outside of your what's the word? Out of your socioeconomic class. Most people actually end up dating people in their own same class. So if you're born wealthy and you're raised wealthy, you're most likely going to marry a wealthy man or woman. If you're born poor and you're raised poor, and you're probably going to marry someone who came from the same type of background, whether you're actually poor anymore or not. So I think there is some truth to that, and it's interesting. Anyway, also, what else did I have on here? Oh, there was this article about how if you want to live in, if you're looking for love and you're gay, there are 20 cities in which the best places for you to actually find love. And from the best city to the least best, the top 10 anyway, it's San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Washington, D.C., Miami, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, New Haven, Connecticut, Boston, Massachusetts, Dallas, Texas, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Now, I can say that San Francisco, obviously, for obvious reasons, it's full of gay guys and it's everywhere. So very gay identified. That makes sense. And L.A., New York, of course, as well, Washington, those are all very gay areas. Miami and Atlanta. New Haven has Yale, so lots of gay guys there too. Dallas is a very good place, actually, I have to tell you, because, as I said, I've lived here all my life. And if you are looking for gay men, there are tons of gay men here for you. I mean, Dallas is a huge gay community, huge. And I think it's important to be around other gay guys. I've ran into gay guys who are living in the middle of podunk so-and-so, Georgia or Mississippi or Alabama or places where hardly any gay people exist at all. And they're like the only gay person there, practically, or at least the only one they know of. And they're all by themselves, and they feel lonely and miserable. And I find that to be so sad and depressing. And so, for God's sake, move the fuck out of wherever you are if you can. I mean, obviously, sometimes it's not financially feasible to do that. But if it is, for God's sakes, move. There's no reason. I mean, unfortunately, gay guys, gay men anyway, especially, are very limited in our where we can live and really be ourselves and be happy and have the same access to people like ourselves. Heterosexual men and women can pretty much live anywhere and have, you know, a decent life, you know, whether it's in the podunk country or it's in the major city, because they don't have to worry about whether there are going to be other gay people around there, whether people are going to hate them or not because they're gay or whatever. All these things that we as gay people have to worry about that they don't really matter in small places like, you know, podunk, whatever. So that's why it's so important, if you can get the fuck out of podunk, wherever you live, get the fuck out. It doesn't matter how old you are, just leave and find a life somewhere else and you'll be much happier, I think. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, obviously, but I can't imagine myself still living like when I was a kid. I would spend my summers with my grandmother in East Texas, and you know, East Texas is very, you know, country, and you know, very small towns, and you know, KKK people are out there some places. The farther east you go, anyway, there are, closer you get to Louisiana and south. But east. So my point is, it was a very small town with almost completely Caucasian people. And it was either all white or all black people. And of course, I was there in the middle. And then there were also, of course, was the gay thing, which was completely not okay, and very religious. And so in small towns like that, those are the things you have to contend with. And I can imagine myself having to live there now. I got, you know, when I was little, you know, I didn't have any desire to live there, and I still don't now. But I think that, you know, it's important to remember that if you're gay, you don't have the same, unfortunately, even with the same rights on paper, you don't have the same luxuries that heterosexuals have. And so if you want to have a man or a woman in your life that's you're going to get married and have all that good stuff, whatever, and build a life with someone, get the fuck out of Dodge. You know, that's all I want to say about that. Anyway. All right. So, what else did I want to say? Anything else I want to say before I go? I want to say hi to William. Thank you for listening, William, on my boring show tonight. I appreciate it. I just decided to do a show impromptu, so here I am. I'm going to try to do more shows, more off-limit shows, as opposed to Gay XYZ shows only. And also, remember, you can always listen to Gay XYZ. Go to gayxyz.com and find out more about our show there. And I'm going to try to do more shows on Off-Limits show and actually kind of do something real. I kind of got lazy doing my shows and haven't really done as good as I used to because I've gotten so lazy, but and plus I haven't had time, but I'm going to try to do it, still can do it in the future. So thank you for listening, whoever's listening. By the way, go to offlimitshow.com to find out more about me. Also listen on iTunes if you want to subscribe there. On iTunes, Off-Limits Show. Also listen to Gay Mass, my other show I do for Off-Limits. And also, of course, gayxyz.com to listen to Gay XYZ Show, which was with me and Christian and Jason, and we are there every single Tuesday, pretty much without fail at 9 p.m. Central. Be sure to check us out there, and I appreciate you listening, and I hope you all have a great night. Thanks for listening.